All right, welcome to lesson number 3 of Mathematics and the Arts and Sciences 6-week class. Today we'll be learning about one of my favorite topics, the ancient Celts. So we have a DK Find Out interactive reading activity here. So we're to read through the page embed below and then share one interesting fact about the ancient Celts in the comments box below. So here we are. It has one short paragraph. And which of you would like to read the paragraph?
I can do it.
All right, go ahead.
The Celts were fierce warriors from Central Europe. By 200 BCE, their civilization stretched across much of northern and western Europe. The Celts did not have a single empire like the Romans. Instead, they lived in separate tribes with similar languages, religion, and customs. The Romans and Greeks wrote about them as swaggering barbarians who drank too much and indulged in nasty human sacrifices. But the Celts were actually skilled metal workers who made advanced iron weapons, strong armor, and sturdy war chariots.
Okay. Any comments about any of that?
Nope.
Okay, so they were from Central Europe. It stretched across much of northern and western Europe. So a lot of us Europeans, I think all three of us have ancestors from Europe. Most of us Caucasians do. So a lot of our ancestors were Celts, ancient Celts. I know I have Irish blood, Swedish, English, Irish. So definitely, I know for sure that I had ancient Celtic ancestors. My mother used to joke with me. One thing she used to do is squeeze my cheeks really hard so that it hurt. And then she would spout off all 6 things, all 6 of my nationalities: Swedish, English, Irish, Italian, German, and Cherokee Indian. She'd say that while squeezing my cheek. So I never forgot what my heritage is. And she would also call me a Viking, like if she were frustrated with me, or I always thought that was kind of funny. Her little Viking daughter. So, yeah. Here you could see like the Celtic warriors for that segment here. They have like this Viking horn helmet here. So, Emily, which one of these do you think we should read next? We have Boudica, the female warrior. We have Celtic beliefs, Celtic crafts. What do you think?
I've never heard of Boudica. Let's do that one.
Yeah. There's actually movies about her on YouTube. I watched one recently, but talk to your mom. Everyone's sensitivity levels are different with violence, and war. So there is war in the movie. So here it is. Boudica. Some call her Boadicea. Enya, I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's a famous Irish singer with a very unique sound. She does like this famous layering of her voice, so it sounds like 1,000 of her singing. But she has a song called Boadicea, which is really pretty. And would you like to read this paragraph? You can go ahead.
Okay. Boudica, also known as Boadicea, was the queen of the Iceni, a Celtic tribe from the eastern England. She was famous for leading a rebellion in 60 CE against the Romans who ruled Britain. Boudica had been married to Prasutagus, the ruler of the Iceni people. When Prasutagus died, the Romans seized his kingdom and mistreated his family. Boudica and her warriors rebelled, destroying several important Roman cities. Finally, Boudica was defeated and died either from sickness or by taking poison to avoid being captured by the Romans.
Yeah, so pretty intense there, the story. So here's a painting of Boudica, her 2 daughters. And so I think she's talking to the Iceni. I think it's pronounced Iceni. That's what I've heard anyway. Or talking to her Iceni tribe members. So yeah, she was pretty incredible. She's come down through history. Very famous woman and story. All right, so good choice there. And I'd like to actually do Celtic crafts here, since today we're focusing on their art. So here we have what's called a cauldron. Do either of you know what a cauldron is?
One of them things those little old witches use to brew their little potion thingies.
Okay. Yes, like in stories, we've heard of witches using cauldrons to do that. Very good. Yeah, so it's a giant pot. Go ahead.
It's a large cooking pot, isn't it?
Yes, correct. Exactly. And usually they have a lid, but it looks like this one's missing its lid. So amazing that they even have this. And this one's made of silver. So I'll go ahead and read this paragraph here. So the Celts were expert, let me read the title first. Celtic crafts. The Celts were expert metal workers in iron, bronze, silver, and gold. Iron was used for practical objects, such as tools and weapons. The Celts made elaborate carvings with pictures of animals and plants on them. They also made beautiful jewelry, including torques, which were neck rings. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but just a giant, looks like a giant ring that fits around the neck. Bracelets for their arms and wrists, and necklaces of solid gold. Even in battle, they liked to show off. They decorated their helmets with gold and their chariots with bronze. To this day, Celtic patterns are known for their distinctive swirling shapes. And actually, we'll be focusing on their knotwork, which isn't addressed in this particular section on DK, find out. But look at the figures and the detail. And here we have some knotwork in what looks to be perhaps a king's headband. Very interesting style. Go ahead and freely comment about what you see here.
That the crown on that king, it looks kind of like he's tied ropes around his head.
It does, yeah. Right, so that's the type of knotwork we'll be looking at, although the type of knotwork we'll be looking at is more swirled and the knots are more intertwined with each other. You'll probably recognize the art form when we see it today. Then there's warriors here with giant shields and spears on horsemen as well. These look interesting what they're carrying.
There's a person over there that he's surrounded by animals.
Right here, kind of in a spiritual pose. Interesting. This one looks like it's riding on the back of perhaps a dolphin.
Looks like a rhinoceros. See the horn on the nose?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. All right, and then what patterns, what geometric shapes and patterns do we see? This one has a lined pattern in the headband or headdress. Lots of curves, ovals, these oval shields. We have dots here, right there. Okay, so I'll go ahead. Who would like to, Brock, would you like your turn? It would be your turn if we take turns. Would you like to read about the silver cauldron?
Sure. This silver bowl is also called the Gundisterup cauldron, and is a fine example of Celtic metalwork. It is decorated with scenes of warfare, gods, and sacrifice. The bowl itself was an offering to the gods.
Interesting. And then here we have an example of a bronze torque, their ring-like necklace. So Emily, do you want to read about the necklace?
Okay.
Go ahead.
The Celts made rings called torques, which they wore around their necks. Large, heavy torques, like this bronze one, showed how rich and powerful their owners were. The Celts may also have believed that torques offered them magical protection. The bravest Celtic warriors went into battle naked except for a torque.
Yes, I've heard of that before. Yeah, they were pretty intense people, some of those tribes, more so than others. All right, so that's a little bit of introduction to the ancient Celts.